Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor, and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Sagittarius. If Sagittarius is your solar, lunar, ascendant/rising sign, then this is a message for you. All right, let's get started. Okay, so our card tonight is the Ace of Swords. So heavy mental energy. Very airy. Oh, I see a pansy. The flower here. Can see kind of right there. I love the pansies. They pop up all over all over the yard here. They must have escaped and spread at some point. But just a beautiful and delicate flower, really. An early bloomer, right? So I feel like, this maybe is part of your story in some ways. I think that maybe you were probably somebody who was maybe a little more advanced than those around you. You were maybe the smart kid in the class, if it was academic or if you just had kind of, a better hold on language or just in life in general. I mean, I guess we used to call them kind of street smarts or whatever, but just not even just that, but being able to understand, comprehend things that other kids just were oblivious to. And that might have been part of your circumstances, but I also think it was definitely your intellect. So, I also think that there was a sensitivity there. Okay. I think that, like most flowers, right? They are beautiful. They are, many can grow in situations that you're surprised by, right? People like to use that, the metaphor of the flower growing through the crack in the sidewalk or asphalt. Hardy, in some ways, but this flower is it can find its way even in drought, even in, the middle of the lawn that's been sprayed, unfortunately, with weed killer or whatever. They still find a way, but they are delicate when you touch them, too directly. If you pounce upon them, step on them, they will fold a bit. And so I do think that you are somebody who maybe is more of an observer in a lot of aspects of your life. You like to people watch. You like to fill out the room before you kind of enter a conversation or a group, even if you know them. I think that there's a sense of being quite happy, as in, I'll use an old term, kind of a wallflower, observant. And, that's not to say that you don't have a social group or you don't connect with people. I think that you definitely do. But you're very mindful of who you let near you. You're very mindful of what you allow into your sacred spaces, into your deeper personal life. And I think that that is something that is very commendable. I think that that's something that can also, at times be a little bit lonely if you haven't always, found your people or a partner or somebody, that respects your boundaries and all of this, there even so, listen, even when we do meet people and we do have a spouse or a best friend, or we're very close with our family, we can still feel quite lonely at times, Other people don't fulfill us. They never will. They just won't. It doesn't work that way. But I think you're acutely aware of this, and so you are quite the beauty. Have just a profound ability to survive even the most dire situations, and not only survive but thrive. But you maybe are even kind of an enigma to some people. You're almost like an iconic mythological being that not everybody can get that close to. A little bit mysterious, right? And yeah, I see all of that from this flower. All right, let's see. What else do we have going on here? Okay, so we have an S, a little flower here, and then we have a K. It could be a K, it could be an R, but I think it's a K. And then we also have an A, so maybe S-A-K. Or maybe just S-K, and then there's an A up here. I don't know, maybe these are initials. The S and the K, I almost wonder if it's initials, because there is this little, kind of grouping of flowers there, and kind of almost like a bouquet. And it makes me think of maybe like the lettering on an illumination, or I went through this phase in my life where I was so obsessed with book plates. And these are like old school. They still have them, I'm sure. But when people used to really take care of their books, and they would, have these splendid libraries and collections, you would put a little piece of paper, and it would be affixed to the inside of the front of the book, and you would put your name, like this book belongs to the library of, or whatever, and you put your name there. And some of them were so gorgeous. If you've never seen them, and if you are into art or, kind of novel things, go and look up book plates. They're very beautiful. So I almost like kind of think of something like this, or maybe just like a, like a name on a envelope, or an address, return address kind of thing, sticker. So maybe this is the initials. Okay, so I also want to look at this. This is pretty cool. We have a horse right here pulling a wagon, and you can see we also have a person sitting on that wagon. And then over here, it almost looks like there are two people kind of looking on. And I almost kind of think of like a farmer going to the market, right? And maybe the wife and child are staying behind, or some kind of thing like this. But what this makes me think of symbolically is really this intense period of hard work, and not only just working hard, but really putting everything on the line to be able to kind of do the work that you want to do. Maybe you've started a business. Maybe this is a career that you've had to pay your dues to really kind of, move up and finally get into a position that you have been seeking. But whatever it is this is not an easy job. This is a lot of work. If you think of maybe a farmer, right, who whatever they are producing, and then they are taking it to go sell it at the presumably like farmer's market, or selling it to, some store in town or whatever. That's a hard life. That's a lot of work. Okay. So I feel like this is maybe even you come from a line of farmers or homesteaders, or it didn't used to be called homesteading, but I'm using the modern term, right? It used to just be called having a a little bit of land. Yes. Maybe coming from a line of laborers, and it's really just been ingrained in you. But also, you just have that working spirit. Now, it doesn't have to be in agriculture. It doesn't have to be in any kind of production of goods or anything like that. But I feel like you just sometimes work yourself to the bone. I mean, you really are probably somebody who gets up very early and goes to bed, gets home late, goes to bed late, and does it again. And if you are post-work into retirement, or maybe have taken on some more casual jobs as you've gotten older, I feel like this is something that at some point in your life really you are on the grind. I mean, really working very hard. And I think that's important because I see the horse going into the metaphysical here. This is also the emotional, and on the flat of the bull, which would be the material world, the base reality, our waking life. It transcends all three. So I think this is something that's important to you in identity. You like to be known as somebody who really does work so hard. But it also is not just about making those coins or doing something that is beloved to you, but it is something that is also spiritual. Okay, this is something that you equate to maybe a very profound and deep reason for you even being here, right? There is something very fulfilling spiritually in the task at hand, in the work at hand, in putting your all into whatever it is you set out to do. Okay. And I think that this, also translates into other parts of your life. I also sense there is a deep connection of family. I almost wonder if there's maybe a family business, or if your child has watched you kind of work the way you have, as you watched your parents work the way that they did, and they are also somebody who finds a lot of fulfillment in a hard day's work. Okay, so the other thing I want to look at is we have the angel here, okay, holding, and it's hard to kind of see, but there is a bird, but there's also a small sword. Okay, so this really makes me think of, it makes me think of the angel with the flaming sword. But I also, more than that, we have that same connection to the Ace of Swords. And so I really do feel like, in some ways, your ability to maybe reason through things, your ability to exist in your logical mind has been something that has saved you from a lot in life. You're not somebody that gets swept away by your emotionality or maybe sentimentality. Not that often. Okay. I think that you are somebody who, although you care deeply, although you feel deeply, you will not let it affect the practical parts of your life, and that is domestically, your relationships, your ability to make money, to make resources, to take care of yourself and those who you love, right? You are somebody who is probably fairly pragmatic and you have the ability to plan and stick to the plan, right? Now, plans don't always work out, of course, but I do think that you, more than most people, will stay devoted to the course in which you have chosen, right? So I imagine that you are pretty good when you are in a place in your living or in your work life. When you are able to make money, you are able to put it away. You probably have made some decent choices financially. You know, and I think that like anybody else, we have highs and lows as far as these things go. But I do think more so than most people, you have done well for yourself. Okay. Now, does that mean you're super rich? I don't know, maybe, but I think you definitely are somebody who wouldn't maybe like go out and just, instead of paying the gas bill, you're out, spending it on lottery tickets or something like this. I don't think that that's how you operate. I think you meet your responsibilities, and then whatever's left after that, maybe you spend some of it, maybe you don't. Maybe you like to squirrel it away. But I think that this is something that, again, has been helpful for you. When you have gotten into a tight spot, or maybe something didn't work out the way that you thought it would, you can rely on yourself. Okay. And I think this is something that is also, again, spilled over into the younger people in your life. They see how you live, and they have taken it on consciously or unconsciously, and it's written into their own psyche, right? So I think that they are probably also fairly reasonable about how they deal with their finances and responsibilities and things. Now, let's see, we have a snake. We have a snake right here. And we have a person standing right here. And I feel like it's almost, I get the sense that there's almost, I almost feel like somebody in your life, maybe a sibling, maybe like a cousin or a friend or something. This is somebody who has been jealous of your ability to, be fairly successful. I think that this is somebody who's pretty frivolous, somebody who doesn't know hard work like hard work. But when they look at your life, they think, oh, the so-and-so is given everything. So-and-so, is so lucky. Life just hands everything to them. It falls right in their lap. Well, you work yourself raw, like down to the bone. And it is not just luck. This is years of planning, years of sacrifice, years of doing the hard thing, right? And so we have this person who, I don't know if they want what you have or if they just like to run their mouth and they just are a sour person. But I do see there's a sense of coming to a point where it's almost like you have to cut this person off, or you feel like you might need to, because they're affecting the energy, right? They're affecting the atmosphere. They are, throwing dirt on your name, as you would say, speaking ill of you to others. Although, anybody who could see clearly would say, well, that's ridiculous, they work hard. They've always, in anyways, it's none of your business. But I do think that there's a sense of just pettiness here, and that can be very trying. Even if you do try to be quite empathetic, this is something that probably makes you pretty uncomfortable. I don't think you're a very confrontational person, and you try to maybe just shrug it off, but at times it really, it just, builds and builds, and, it just, you can't bite your tongue anymore. So I then look over here, and up here we have, it looks like a person holding a lantern, okay, and we have a flag over here. And so I almost feel like there is a sense of surrendering to this feeling of kind of the hermit mode, kind of detaching from these social circles where this kind of energy has been rising, okay? And instead of just putting up with it, I think you just have this feeling of, I just don't want to deal with any of these people. I don't want to deal with any of it. I don't want, somebody coming to tell me, oh, can you believe what they said about you? Or, I didn't like when they did this. Well, you didn't even know that happened. So it's like the messenger of, this venom, this poison, and, maybe they have good intentions to tell you what's being said, but maybe it's just kind of like, thoughtlessly idle chit chat, and it affects you, and so I could see where it's like, I'm just going to focus on my own family, our things that are going on in our lives right now. I don't care about any of that. And I'm going hermit mode. I'm taking, taking my leave here, and I'm going to go do my own thing for a while. And that makes sense to me. It really does. Okay, let's see. So I'm seeing it almost looks like a, I almost feel like there's a sense of, it looks like a magnet to me, like a giant magnet. And I feel like there's this real maybe interest in something like the law of attraction. I feel like that you are really maybe somebody who believes deeply in kind of the energy you put out is the energy you will receive, right? And I feel like this is a time to really kind of get into that deeply, and I feel like this is kind of that hermit mode, going into kind of a little bit of disengaging so that you can kind of refocus yourself, get yourself centered and grounded, and decide really like, what kind of energy am I putting out there, so that I can fill my life with things that kind of mirror that energy, lift me up, make me, feel like I'm fully activated, that I'm the high vibrating person that I am, and that I'm encountering situations and people that are more on that wavelength than all this other messiness that I'm not interested in. Okay, so this is a good period of time for introspection, for, really making maybe some tough decisions about how your life will be configured as far as who will be let in and who will not, And so I also see we have a tree. We have like an evergreen tree. We have a fish. We have a bird kind of perched on a little rock or something. And I can't help but think, like, maybe I imagine you really like the outdoors. Maybe even like somebody who's into camping or going to cabins or something like this. And I feel like it maybe is a good time as well to think about, what are you going to do this summer? Are you going to go out and take a little camping trip or a vacation or a road trip? Maybe go to some parks, I don't know what they are in other countries, but I know in America we have like state parks and we have the big, national parks. And so maybe if you have the time and the opportunity, start thinking about, like, where would you like to go? Maybe you go to the mountains or go visit, some beautiful wonder of the world, But I think that really there is a calling. I feel you wanting to get out there, get out into the deep, deep nature, away from the noise pollution and the light pollution and all of these things, and just spend some time with yourself, with your family, with your animal companions, and go feel a little bit free of the usual tedium. Okay, so that's, I think, something to definitely consider. And I can't believe, I know we're almost just in February, but I'm already scheduling stuff for my daughter and us as well, my husband and I, for summer, going into fall already. I can't believe how fast time moves. It just seems to be going by so quickly. Anyways, let's take a look at the Mary Magdalene Oracle cards. These are from Megan Watterson, illustrations by Moonju. And we're just going to flip through here real quick. Stop where it feels right. And it says, for where the nous is, there is a treasure. There is the treasure. There is the treasure. And now, I was, the last time I got this card, I was looking at this and I thought, this is, the nous is the temple. Well, I mixed it up with, there's another word that is N-A-U-S, or N-A-O-S, I'm sorry, N-A-O-S, and that's a temple, or it's a room in a temple. It's a cella in the temple. Now this is higher thinking, right? This is like kind of the daemon, or the our higher thinking, our spiritual thinking, and so that is where the treasure is, right? That is the thing that we all work to kind of gain access to refine our relationship with, and truly find, the sustenance of the gods, right? Or of the divine, or the cosmos. And it also says here, the eye, yes, hello. The eye of the heart, we contain the treasure. The eye of the heart, we contain the treasure. Yeah. So love, right? Love is that thing that gets us there. And it's not just love, not just amorous love, not just, love of family, although those are aspects of it, but it is that love of the divine, that agape, right? The relationship we have with either, however you look at it, right? There's so many ways to experience something greater than ourselves, or something that is a greater part of ourselves. Okay. And that is that thing, that is that like golden road right up there into, that place of spiritual, embodiment. Hi. What's that? That's a loud car. What is that, TT? All right. So anyways, Sagittarius, I'm going to go ahead and say thank you so much for spending this time with me. It is always such an honor to be able to bring these messages to you. And if you would be so kind as to like the video, it really does help the channel so much. And if you have not subscribed yet, please think about doing that. You can hit the little bell. It'll let you know when the next videos are coming out. And what else? If you'd like to leave a comment, please do. I would love to hear from you. I was actually just talking to my husband. Shout out to Dove and Serpent Tarot. His name is Paul over there. You probably know him. You maybe even came from his channel over here. But we were just talking about if we should maybe start doing a guided meditation channel together. He would do some of the videos. I would do some of the videos. So maybe a goal for us. But I was wondering, I wanted to ask you all, what do you think about that? Would you listen to that? Would you like to hear us do some guided meditation exercises? And you can just leave the answers there in the comments. And if you're really stoked on it, go over there and let Paul know that you like the idea. You can go over to his channel and spam his videos. All right. I'm going to go ahead and say thank you again. And I love you. Take care of yourself. We'll talk in just a few days.